It's live. Happy Tuesday to everybody. I got my main man in black on the scene here today, Stephen Big Beat. Or how are we doing today, Big Beat?
Good. You know what? I think I'm 37-1 now on the win scale here.
Yeah, not too
Look,
bad. Not too bad.
look, it's exactly what it is. To me, it's a stock pickers market. It's not a one direction market. I know it feels like the market keeps going up, 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 and new highs, but that's what happens in a down market. I know that shocks everybody. Oh, that can't be the right way. No, it's not. I've been doing this for 34 years. Let me tell you, this thing is set for a downfall. It's a rug pull coming. And right now, Howard, I understand we're in earnings season, but I'm not seeing good. Well, earnings are okay; they're beats, but the bar is so low to beat. Of course, they're beating. But here's what I'm saying: I'm not seeing anybody going, "Ooh, the future looks bright. I gotta wear shades." It's not seeing that
I'd
right.
say SoFi is. SoFi, who I was
Okay,
surprised,
so
had
far,
great earnings.
one
But I
stock
was
out of
surprised by that.
9,000.
I thought that they would be more hurt because they deal with a lot of, lower people that need loans.
Yeah,
So
right.
they're not a lender of last resort. I don't want to use that type of term with them, but they
So what you
tend
just
to.
told me is this the company that gives loans to the lower echelon is the ones that's going to do the best. I don't believe that. I think the markets are pushing up because of the election, and I think it's going to be a rug pull. And I think it's gonna be nasty, honestly. The only thing holding the markets up has been Bitcoin, right? So
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
absolutely, man. Bitcoin over 70,000, over 71, and well, let me get that off the screen then. And pretty much has followed through with what I said after that last
Yeah.
pullback. Has come straight up to where it is. Um, you know, it's it's definitely there's a bunch of factors here. There's still a lot of money on the sidelines, like we said. That's the one reason, to get back to what you just said. I'm a little contrarian to your view after reading some other people talk, and saying that right now we might see some blow off before the election here in the next week. But once the election passed, Larry Fink and Ken Griffin, now both speaking yesterday, feel that there's a lot of money on the sidelines and that earnings are starting to catch up to the EP. The price earnings is starting to catch up, so we will see there. With Bitcoin, supply shock has started to set in. FOMO is definitely taken over. Now you have, this is where you got to be a little bit worried about a short-term reversal, because you have, as you said, when the Uber driver is asking you if you own any Bitcoin or where you're buying it, that's when you're probably in a bad spot. We're sort of in that hype cycle right now.
Yeah.
But my thing is, this is different than most categories, and when I mean that, or most times that we've seen this, is there is a lot more institutional interest in Bitcoin than there ever was. It's not even close. So, the question is, do we see that blow off, and do we see money taking? Here will be it. Normally we do, and again, this is when I advise people: if you don't own Bitcoin, today is not the day to get into Bitcoin. Wait for a healthy pullback and go from there. That's so many people I know end up owning it at 70, 71 when it makes these moves. Again, don't get me wrong. If it blows through 73, then you want to grab it for that run. But if it doesn't break through that 73, more likely we would look for a slight pullback. If I use my fib levels here.
I mean, many of us bought back at 55,000 when that big dip. And I was overextended. I was living on the, as I call, living on the edge, where I didn't really have a lot of cash. And in my case, last night, Howard, I sold a third of my Bitcoin at 71,300. Now this morning, I got, okay, did I make a mistake here? It's at 71,450. And I've done that before. I remember the first big run like this. This was back, gosh, I want to say 2016, 17, when it went to 19,000. And I took a profit. I took a profit, and people looked at me like, "Wow, Steve, your thesis was that the market's going to go in about Bitcoin's going to go to 50,000." That was my thesis back then. that we're going to go to 50,000, and I didn't. I took my profit off. I got a nice bottle of Jim Beam sitting behind me from the CEO of Jim Beam at the time, with my name on it. And look, that I took at my thesis, and you know what? Things had changed. I thought the market had run too much, and I thought the hype was overhyped. Um, and then when it got back down to 9, 10,000, I jumped back in, and of course we ran all the way to 50,000, which was my thesis. Um, and then when we got there, guess what happened? Back down it went, because we cleaned out liquidity. And I think that's what happened last night. I think all the shorts just got blown away. And I think right now you're seeing no liquid. I mean, you tell me, Howard, you know better than anybody. Is liquidity burnt up yet? Or is there still more liquidity up there above the 71.5 handle?
There's going to be now. You're going to have the people that bought at 73 looking to maybe unload that have held on, but most of those got out. So you won't have a lot of sell pressure now. I just think you're going to see a natural sell off. People like yourself, I'd be looking at this, 50% fib retracement till about 68,390, and then I think
Yay.
we run from there. So that's what we did here. Previously when we made this run up from the 58.8 to 69, we pulled back about halfway here to the 63, 64 level before we made the move. So that's what I'm
Right.
looking for, that kind of healthy platform to play on. Um, there's a few things going on there that really matter. BRICS during their meeting last week, made a couple of big announcements, and the biggest two were that Saudi Arabia is going to invest a ton of money into the BRICS nations to help build data centers and, more importantly, Bitcoin
Yeah.
mining centers. They realize that this is something that sanctions can't control. They can mine their Bitcoin, have control. They know that they have their own keys. You own your keys, you own your Bitcoin. So they're going to do it, and don't be surprised. I mean, Van Eck was on yesterday on CNBC, and they made it clear they feel that BRICS will start to settle payments by the year 2050 in Bitcoin. So that is a huge statement to be a reserve currency for half of the world in 2050, and that's why they have those huge
And
numbers of.
that's 25 years away, 26 years away.
Yeah.
That's a long time. When you're looking at it from the perspective of now as an investor, that's great. If you're looking to give your crypto to your kids, then heck yes, I can totally see that, right? But for me, I have to play the game in front of me right now, and right now, the game in front of me says no. The game in front of me says that. There's still some animosity out there in some countries. I mean, you know what? If you're going to ask me a question about crypto and about politics, it's obviously that this is a referendum on the election. But to me, Howard, it's not about whether Trump wins the West Wing or if Kamala Harris wins the West Wing for crypto. It's whether or not Sherrod Brown in Ohio, your state,
Yeah.
to keep his seat, because he has been extremely negative, as chairman of that committee, the bank committee, on crypto. And he's got a very tight race there, and looks like he may not pull it out. He may actually get beat,
Yeah, he's
in
going to lose
Ohio.
to Bernie Moreno.
And even if
What I
he
would
does,
say to you, Steve, is you're confluting two different things: crypto and Bitcoin. You have to separate the
well,
two.
okay, so but he mentions crypto in general, but
Yeah.
Bitcoin, I understand.
Because we've
But
passed those regulatory hurdles with Bitcoin at this point. That's why we see what we're seeing
somewhat,
right now.
but I don't think he's going to be chairman of his committee, no matter what. If the Senate goes to the Republican side, he's out. Period. So this is, I think, why we're seeing such a run, in the crypto space, Bitcoin for most people. But for me, I think it's politically motivated, and I don't like investing politically.
Yeah,
So
I definitely have a different view there than you. I know the supply shock that's in the system since it's been 7 months since the halving. I see the flows. The flows aren't retail; they're institutional flows that are coming in.
okay.
You have many countries around the world trying to add Bitcoin. You have many huge banks around the world looking to get a little bit of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So I think it's a little bit different. I do think crypto has a lot of headwinds still in its way, like you're saying. That's why Ethereum's struggling
So
so
are you
much.
are you saying that, if with that thesis, then that this is why gold and silver up, get silver down to 34.24, yay. Is that what you're saying? Is
Yeah,
because of all of, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm seeing it as a diversification of assets from, high wealth individuals around the world that are now
Gotcha.
saying, okay, Bitcoin's proven itself, it's not going anywhere. All these nations are talking about using it in different forms, different ways. I'm going to stay in Bitcoin. And like I said, that doesn't pertain to Ethereum, Solana, XRP, or any of the others that have not gotten through that scrutiny. We have ETFs. The SEC's done what it can do, and at this point, outside of someone coming in and saying you can't own Bitcoin, which wouldn't work anyways, you're not going to see that type of thing.
And you're not seeing Gensler say anything about anything to anyone on the last. I think they've kind of hit him in a rock, considering that the
Yeah, he's definitely
administration.
keeping a low profile. He did come out when they went after a few companies a couple of weeks ago, TD
As he
Bank and some of
should.
the
That's what he
others.
should be doing. He should be attacking those bad companies and
Yep,
not attacking asset classes. I mean, that's
absolutely.
yeah. And for
Steve,
that,
anything you're looking at today here? I mean, we got earnings up as I had up the earnings today. We've already
I
seen a bunch: McDonald's, Pfizer, PayPal, SoFi, RCL, JetBlue, Tenet, Crocs. After close, we do have Google, AMD, Visa, Chipotle, Snap, Reddit, and Corvo as some. Anyone you're looking at there?
Yeah, a few of them. The first one, obviously, and I've said this morning already, all morning long already, is DJT, right? DJT is up another 16% this morning. I think it was up even more than that earlier. It's very simple. It's politically motivated. They think that the president Trump is going to win, and come back and be the president and be favorable. I don't know how that's going to help his media company, to be honest with you, because he will have to diversify himself away from his company while he is president. So I don't know. This is a very interesting situation here. Can you be, can your company while you're president? And the answer is no. You have
Yeah,
to
I mean
diversify.
this one is totally trading like GameStop or a meme
Right.
stock right now. It isn't trading on anything fundamental, and even that, yeah, like you said, it's going to be a sell and news event. At some point, whether he wins or loses, the election will end, and this hype will tend to end with it. So that's
Yeah,
one I
I,
wouldn't
I
definitely
think it's
be. I
probably
wouldn't want to
advanced
be
no matter.
stuck on the wrong side. I also would not fade it. It's very hard to short shares. There aren't many available, as you
That's
found
correct. It's
out
not.
that day, and yeah, this is one I just unless I see a pump and early enough, I would have jumped in on something, but not one that I'm going to hold in any way. As we've talked about, for any of our viewers that have been in this since 60, as it approaches 60 here, look to get out of it. You've been bitching about it for 4 months. Don't get greedy. Be ready here. Have stop losses in place because you don't want to go back to 1175 on you.
Right.
And I like you said, none of this is fundamental. So it's that one I fully agree with you. It is just a hype coin. There's nothing there behind it.
And we've been talking about it for a while, and I know that it's like a broken record, but I am clearly looking at Boeing once again, BA here, because quite frankly, we're getting closer and closer to that buy area for me. We saw a break below 147 this morning. 146.02 was the low of the session, early pre-markets here. We're back to 148.75. It's bounced twice now off of that. That's real consolidation down there. And as long as Boeing can now start to not have any more bad news, and even if it does, really, it is kind of holding down here. That's a good sign, a very good sign. So I am going to wait till this thesis of my thesis of a pullback. I think it's coming. Um, it might now be until after the election. And believe it or not, the election's only in 8 days. So
Yeah,
how far away can it be? And 2 of those days is a weekend. So it's only like really six trading days. I'm not a gambling person when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I'll tell you right now, I like it. I like it long term, but I just can't pull the trigger just yet. And McDonald's
absolutely.
came out this morning with earnings, and Mickey D's is down again. The Golden Arches just can't seem to do it. They did not, to me, give good guidance in forward guidance, and to me, that says a lot. So I don't know. Anything under 300 is a buy to me because I think it's going to go back over 300, but not right now. So I'm not touching. I'm not touching anything. I still think it's a stock market pickers market right now, and I'm not doing it. I'm picking out stocks. You know what? We do it every single morning, And I'm not going to, if the market's going to go up higher, great. My mutual funds are happy as ever. But no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself in that position. So, quite
Yeah,
frankly,
McDonald's. I had a couple of takeaways there. Number one, they didn't even discuss the E. coli because it wasn't in last quarter. It's actually in this quarter. Didn't give any
right.
guidance. Didn't answer any questions. So I didn't like to see that. They also talked about weaker, in-store sales. People aren't coming through as much. The traffic's down a little bit. And then they talked about the success of their $5 meal. And as I said, I don't think that's a success. There isn't a lot of profit at $5 on a meal. So I actually am a little bit negative as onto what McDonald's looks like
But
right
does that
now.
$5 meal bring you in, and your kid gets a Happy Meal? Does that $5 meal bring you in?
Doesn't
And,
bring
and
me in, but it does bring a lot of people in because they've seen it.
okay,
I mean, they're talking about how they gained so much momentum after releasing the $5 meal this summer. And that's why they've extended it all the way into December and even released a new chicken Big Mac to go along with it.
mm,
But no, what we've seen is Subway, right? Yeah, the $5 footlong brought people in, but it also put franchises out of business.
right.
So that's what it is. That's what I'm saying is you're bringing in, and it's tough to trade from that. McDonald's saw the issue with their dollar add-ons, right? The dollar double cheeseburger, the dollar McChicken was great for their initial sales, and then it really came back to haunt them in future years because there's no profit in a dollar
Yeah,
sandwich,
but let's go back to my original thesis on McDonald's, and it was this. Look, since I started my weight loss, I haven't been to McDonald's.
right?
I haven't set foot in McDonald's one bit, right? Because I know that it's it's high calories, and I've cut that out. And we've talked about that. So you know what? We're seeing that now translate into the restaurant business where they're having to lower their prices for their food. I mean, their margins at McDonald's are usually pretty high, right? I mean, a Coca-Cola, you know what that's, it's
Yeah.
water and sugar and a few flavoring, and they're charging $3-4 for that Coke, right? They're winning on that pretty big. So no, I don't. I think margins are slimming a little bit, pun intended, on McDonald's.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, in fact, a couple of the fast food companies have brought the weight loss drugs and said that the problems that people have if they do eat McDonald's and some of these high fat and things with their stomach issues make it a little bit hard.
Yeah, you don't want
Pfizer,
to know what happens to you.
what'd you think about Pfizer's earnings here today, Steve? They made it
Interesting,
ahead of
Pfizer.
they had
Pfizer is a company that's got problems. We've talked about that for a while. And when you look back all the way back during COVID time, you saw a nice run, but what are you betting on? When you're looking at Pfizer, you're betting on new drugs. You're betting on the ability to create a drug that solves a problem, as I always say in the biotech world. And right now, Pfizer just isn't doing that. I'd like to say that they are. I'd like to say that they're leaders again, but Pfizer is not a leader anymore. And we've talked about that, and I've talked about that they need new leadership change, and it's not going to change until the leadership changes. I instituting AI into their systems is awesome because I think it's the speedy way of building a new paradigms and new chemical reactions in order to make new drugs. But right now, I don't like Pfizer. Still don't like it. I want to own Pfizer long term, but I cannot pull myself to doing it yet. They've got some internal things. Think about it. To me, Pfizer's a lot like Intel, right? Great company, been around a long time, and they got problems. Pfizer's an Intel and Boeing. They're great companies, but they're having problems, and maybe this is their period. And I think Pfizer is in that period right now.
okay. We see QQQ right now about flat. SPY is up slightly, tick negative about 150. You spoke a little bit. Oil has come back about $68.16 on the WTI here.
Think that's it right there. 27.57. It is, Howard. 27.57.15 now. Gold is now at an all-time high.
Yep, keeps on doing it. Bitcoin headed that way. Silver might break that 35 resistance you talked about.
Yeah. And then once we go there, I think it's probably no stopping until about 42. And then all the way to 50, I think, at some point.
I saw DH Horton, another one that got hit pretty hard today. Um, Housing definitely there. They had they had misses on earnings and second, gotta pull. Here it is. So they're down about 13%. They were down even further here. So DJ Horton, their fiscal fourth quarter earnings fell to 1.28 billion, 392 a share, from 1.51 billion and 445 a share. Sales eased to 10 billion from 10.5. And they came out and said that they believe rate volatility and uncertainty are causing some buyers to stay on the sidelines in the near term. To help spur demand and address affordability, they're continuing to use incentives such as mortgage rate buy downs and continue to start and sell more of the homes with smaller floor plans. So building smaller houses, less profit in there for them, giving away some of their profits by, buying down points on people's loans, and it's taken most of the other housing ones down with it. Lenara was down, and most of the others. I do know at 9, we just had at 9 o'clock. I didn't see the number yet. Steve, did you see your Schiller housing?
I did not know.
Let me take a quick look here. Pull that up.
Can pull that up though. That's not a problem.
Didn't notice that come across.
I see where the retail inventories minus autos this morning was at 0.1%. They were expecting 0.4%. So retail inventories minus autos was way down, meaning that they're not keeping. And wholesale inventories down 0.1%, where they expected up 0.2%.
And
So
Ford
that means
spoke about that in their earnings, that they had an inventory glut themselves, that they have the Ford.
Yeah.
Sounds like the
There's
glut
a
is
case
stuff.
Schiller. We're seeing up 5.2%. We're expecting up 5.92%. So home prices up 0.3%. We're expecting 0.2%. And monthly home prices year over year at 4.2% up. We're expecting 4.7. So home prices coming up. The demand is not there. And the rates, as you know, 10-year now sitting at looks like 4.33%. There you go. Rates going up, home prices not selling. Jolt's job opening coming out at 10 o'clock, and consumer confidence, which I really am interested in the consumer confidence number there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are waking up to the, idea that that you're not going to get a 2% mortgage anymore. And it's really surprised people. I know
Ever.
that I was one that just assumed it would come back down, but we're now seeing that maybe, 4.44% might be the new normal for right now for the Treasury for a while. And if that's the case, you're gonna continue to see mortgages in that six to seven range.
And
So
it's very simple. Banks are hurting. I mean, Howard, banks are very underfunded. There's a shortfall of $500 billion in the banks. And the only way they make money is that they lend and make money on that lending. And the only way they do that is if rates are up. And it's a battle right now with the Fed lowering rates and the banks are raising rates. Well, guess who wins in that case? The government. So I mean, look, it's very simple. What they want the rates to be lower because it's better on the overall debt, and banks make more money. They pay a little thing called taxes on that, and the government wins both ways. So they know what they're doing. They're not stupid.
we had talked about the big move up before earnings by most of the cruise lines. We're seeing that quickly reverse here. RCL came down. They said their profit outlook, passenger ticket revenue missed, wasn't very strong at all. Just yesterday, we thought that maybe they would, on the heels of lower oil prices, lower crude oil prices, that they would maybe show good earnings, but definitely not the case. I mean, they're down about 13% here in the pre-market.
Yeah, I'm watching oil itself, 67.72 now a barrel on the WTI. Um, we know that the SPR needs to be filled up, but we also know the government's been kind of quiet lately. So I don't know if Biden's asleep at the wheel again on the SPR. They need to fill it up, but 67.71 is not a good place. I mean, these oil companies need some margin here,
I
and
did see an article today that U.S. has to buy about 3 million barrels for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
which
Uh,
isn't a lot, by the way. 3 million barrels is not a lot of barrels. If you add on even U.S. Consumption of oil per day is very high. Uh, I think it's something like 300. Yeah, it's 20.6 million barrels a day. So if the government just buys a half a million barrels a day for the next 40 days, month and a half, it really wouldn't even touch the price of oil. Maybe like 50 cents or something. So they should do it that way as opposed to where they do it. They buy like huge amounts. But yeah,
yeah, they've bought more than 55 million barrels to date, replenishing the reserve at an average price of around $76 a barrel. It was a good trade. They sold for 95 a barrel when they did their emergency sales and reserves in
well,
2022
they
in
didn't really
response.
sell it, did they? They pretty much gave it away. The SPR has roughly 714 million barrels in it. But as of, you're right, as of yesterday, October, well, no, I'm sorry, October 23rd, it was 384.64 million barrels. Now, people don't really realize that there's a level of which they cannot go below. And so if you think about it right now, 384 million barrels, right? And we burn 20 million barrels a day in this country. And I guess during COVID, we didn't burn as much. I think it was down to like 8 million barrels a day because of that. That extends the life of the SPR. So as of right now, right, that would be roughly 40 days, 50 days of roughly less than 2 months is what we have in the SPR. So we cannot as a country rely on the SPR. It's just a last ditch reserve in case things happen or blips happen, and that's what we have it for.
Right.
So that's why they're not being fast about replenishing it, but they should do it. Now, I say that it's still the largest supply of oil in any one place on the planet. So
Yeah. Um, can't argue with that. I did see some estimates here saying that look for WTI to maybe pull back towards 65 still, that it hasn't hit its
makes
bottom yet.
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, we are 2 minutes to open. I do want to point out I am watching
Tell you what,
Newton
Nvidia's
here,
trying to get in there.
NWTN here, NWTN on watch as a pumper here this morning. Made its first move here, and right now sitting at $1.07. I'm looking for it to break VWAP at 115 level here. On a break above 115 here, I will follow this in again. This is Newton NWTN. You can see it made its first pump up. We usually see 3 out of these pumpers, and it's consolidating right nicely at the support level here, keeping in a bullish flag. If I see that again break above 115, I will follow into that. Was watching FFIV also here. And you can see it's trying. It just made its little move here. This one I'm looking to get above 243. It's at 242 right now. Move above 243. You have some upside there. So that is F5, which is FFIV. So there's a few out there that I'm definitely keeping an eye on. There are some that already pumped this morning. GLYC up about 126% on the day. And another one that is consolidating right here at the bottom of that bull flag. So if I can see that one break above 4191.4191, that would be the level there. So let me put those down. So I'm looking at GLYC on a move above VWAP, and I'm going to set an alert for that here. GLYC breaks through VWAP here. I am going to take it. I got that alert set, and I do want to set the alert on Newton here too. NWTN. We are open. Markets are open here.
Yeah, I don't see anything here that I really like here. I do see a little bit of pop there in the Nasdaq, but and tick down over 500. I don't see anything here that I really like here yet.
Yeah, I was more looking to see if any of these things that had earnings that I thought were better than other people sort of thought that maybe those would be an option.
Dogecoin now up another 3.5% on the session here. It's been on a tear. Um, and it's pretty much just what Elon Musk, right? That's an Elon Musk.
Yep.
71,000 now, just broke below now here. But it is holding. Well, it's holding here. Nope, there it is. It broke through again. 71,000. I sold at 71.3. And that's where I wanted to be.
There goes
I
my
sold,
alert right there.
yeah, and we're going to continue to fall. I think down to that. Yeah, those ETFs taking those profits, huh?
Yeah. You're going to see that. Here goes Newton NWTN. Not ready to go there yet. Okay, let's see what we got here. The tick down 700. VIX is back above 20 here. Again, Bitcoin's still holding up pretty well right around that 71 level. DJT losing a little momentum here, trading at about 50.62.
Boeing's still below that 150 handle. It's struggling there, but
As you know,
Nvidia is down about 0.7%. I'm just not seeing anything here this morning.
I will say MSTR blasted past that 250 level. I'd given it a 199, got up over 263, I want to say, earlier this morning.
That company has
264.50.
that company's price is worth more than the Bitcoin that they have. It's getting a little the premium there is a little high for me.
Yeah. Got to dig deeper into what they do also.
McDonald's
Let it ride.
literally on the highs today here. There you go. I said it. Once it gets above 300, we could go higher at 301.54 now, 1.54%. There goes the Nasdaq slipping a bit here now.
Palantir down about 1.58% here. Another one that's just been on absolute fire lately.
Yeah, there we go. Nasdaq continue to slip here.
Here we go. Now we're seeing some big selling. Palantir
Yeah,
almost down 2% here.
yeah.
SMCI down 2% here. Snap
I
down
still think
1.31.
NEE down 3.12%. So there you go. Some big sellers stepping in the market here. I wasn't sold on this push here. Man,
Seeing SPY
24.65
and
on you.
Q both down a quarter of a point. Tick down almost 700 again.
Dollars pushing higher here, 104.56 here. Advanced decline line now down 14.78.
Tick continue to be negative here.
Still selling here. We're seeing Q's down 0.27% here. Humana up 0.36% there.
They just had earnings release this morning.
If
Got
ticker
some
O got down a little bit more, I'd be a buyer of O. But
property
not
REIT.
quite there yet for me. Bitcoin still slipping 70,900 here. And what's holding is silver here. DJT now only up 10% here, after being up more than 18, 19% earlier in the day. We're seeing the euro now below the 108 handle here, 107.82 here. So that dollar is strengthening up against the foreign currencies.
Well, DXY back above 104.55. So
Yep. Yep. I think the selling could be done though on the day here though. Netflix now up 0.6% here, still pushing higher, 753, 754 now. I think some of the selling here is done actually.
Blink down 2.22% here. So seeing a few hit. Etsy down 1.78. Main things
McDonald's
I
up.
see up are the Bitcoin stocks. Are the only things that are really showing much strength right here.
Yeah, and seeing Bitcoin pop a little bit, 71.1 now.
Yeah, Mara at 1931 again. I called that on the other day on Scott Bauer's show. 17 when it was at 17 to make that run to 1920.
67.55 now. And oil could very well be another political play too, as well as we're seeing some geopolitical issues starting to settle a little bit, as well as drill baby drill. So, wow, there we go. The tick now pushing higher, only down 200 now. So that's what I thought. I thought that was the bounce there that we needed to hold the markets here. 74.2 now. There you go. 71.2 now on Bitcoin. Sorry, 71.2.
I said set 71 handles holding pretty well so far. DJT back above 54 here, 54.09. Intel up a half a point today. ITT up about 2.5 points here today. Nice little move up here.
Kaboom. There you go, Bitcoin. Right back up. But I do see the Q starting to slip a little bit again here. I'm not liking this too much. NVIDIA now down 0.5% here. So not quite there yet. And silver is holding here, 34.23 now an ounce here. There you go. There goes Bitcoin, 71.4 now.
Yeah.
Kaboom.
We're now seeing reports Apple set for biggest revenue jump in 2 years on their iPhone demand in China.
Okay. Who's saying that?
Reuters. Treasury 10 yield has risen to 4.34, highest level since July 5th. DJT just got stopped.
Yeah,
DJT.
it is halted. DJT is halted here. Yeah, it just popped up here on the screen.
That could be a fun one to play with right now. Let's take a look at that. Got halted to move right up, right at the VWAP. This would be one off halt to play to the upside, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens there. Starting to get some more halts across here. BKYI.
Oh, can I please short that sucker? There are locates now on DJT, so you should. Okay, so another drop now in Bitcoin here. So they're playing this area 71,000 to 71.4 now.
That volatility is just that's your perp futures. It's not going to move the needle enough. It's just going to range it. Here's a crypto one for you today, Steve. 1inch has announced a long-term partnership with Bruce Lee's family company to promote DeFi and crypto adoption.
There
And
you
I wonder
go.
why people can't take the segment serious.
And GameStop GME down 2.3%, and AMC also down 1.56%. So there could be some money coming out of the meme stocks going into
DJT.
Right, DJT.
They're in
So
the
yeah,
meme stock. It's just a new meme stock.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see what happens when this comes off. Should be kind of fun to
71.4
watch.
now back on Bitcoin here.
Yeah, 71.4.
Oil still continues to sell off here. 67.51 now an ounce, a barrel.
Gold pulled back after setting a new high, 26.37, pulling back a little bit here. Excuse me, 27.59.
Yeah, we just hit another fresh high on gold here.
Yep.
Trump Media is now open now.
I'm checking out BKYI, another one that just got stopped. Seems to be the pumper of the day. There it goes. You can see that. This is interesting because it did three runs in the early pre-market. Is it going to give you three here? This is one that looks nice too. BKYI 173.
Is that now halted again, DJT? Holy moly.
Yep.
And now to the
That's the
downside.
problem that I had yesterday, as you know, with the one that I was in. We sat here for 20 minutes for me to move to just watch it halt and go, but it was a win. We'll take it. I think this BKYI might be the one I take a jump at here. I want to take a look a little bit at the
Yeah,
hourly
I mean, you're
chart.
seeing the Qs push a little bit here, trying to get back up. 71.5 now on Bitcoin.
This one's interesting. Got room to 197 first stop, and then 210. I sort of like the risk reward here at BKYI. Had decent volume. I am probably going to take a stab at this one.
All right, DJT here should be getting close here.
No, it stopped at 942 again. This is the one that's going to come off
SoFi
first.
now down. SoFi down.
BKYI should be coming off here in the next
SoFi
few
down 13%
seconds.
now. SoFi is getting interesting here down at around the 950 handle here. Yeah, VIX now slipping even more here, so we could see some more further fall through here with the market pushing up here a little bit.
Pick trying to get up a little bit, still down about 100, but moving in the right direction.
McDonald's now flat on the day here. Dogecoin still continue to push here, up 4.12% on the session.
Yeah, most crypto moving today for sure. 71.5 here on Bitcoin again.
Boeing back above the 150 handle here. There it is, 71,500 is broken above here again. Howard, we could make a new high here in the session as VIX is just dropping out of bed here now. Yep, there you go. Qs are now pushing to the upside. I
Buyers
just don't
stepping
like
in.
this market.
QCOM up about a half a point here. SMCI now up a point. It was down.
Just do not like this market. This is getting weirder and weirder by the day.
Here we go. We're in 173, 190. Look at that. Here we go. 193. Again, this is from 173, 195. I'm putting a stop loss in here at 190. In at 173, stop loss is 190. My take profit is 201 here. 201. It looks like it stopped again. Damn it. It did. So again, that went 173 to 195 here. Like I said, I'm going to move my stop loss actually now since it's on stop to 180 because it could take a quick sell-off at the beginning. So I'm putting 180. Like I said, 201 is my first profit here. 225 final exit. So worst, I'll lock in 7 cents here. Okay, well, we locked in another win, Steve.
You did.
See if my Newton's doing anything. It hasn't looked like it is.
We're seeing a little bit
112. Newton is trying to make a move back up here. So Newton is the one I want to see across this 114 again. It's trying to make a move. This has been the key resistance here at 108 right now that I'd already targeted. I want to see it break. This is when I need to see it break that 108 resistance and then make a move all the way up to this 115. If it does, just went to 109 trying to make a move. I've already got that order loaded in, so
50.33 now on DJT, so he is open. All right, then I am long. Oops, hang on, preview order. Slipping here a little bit.
49.77. That one's open the wrong way.
Yep.
You get downside to 45 here. There it goes. There's a
I am now long.
Support.
Oops. View orders here. See where I'm at. Executed. 48.79.
That's going to 45, buddy.
I'm
trying to bounce here. Trying to give you the bounce. 49 back at 49. Need to get above that handle. You need to break right here. It's going to be that 49.56 that you can see over here on the left side is what you're going to need to worry about there.
Oh, okay. Boom.
That's a nice jump, like I said. You can see here. You're watching that area right about there. If you can break through that 49.91, it will jump at least up to VWAP back to that.
And I have an order in to sell at.
There you go, 49.50. You're moving the right way, Steve. 49.50.
I'm having order
92
at $50. There you go. Boom. I'm out. Limit order at $50 to get out. Nailed that when I had 2,000 shares on, and nice move there. Oh, 50-50 now. Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna at least hit this 53.42 here now.
Aha! Kaboom.
Yeah. Nice move, Steve. I am still stopped on mine. Should be coming off stop here in a minute. We'll go back to it. BKY. BKYI.
$50 was where I wanted. I like that dip there, and it seemed that that's where the people were buying. So I longed it, but $50 seems to be kind of rough on it right now. So I'm
a little nervous with my setup. I probably should have set that stop loss here at 177. In fact, I'm going to do that while I have a second here to change that, because that's where we made that gapped up to. So anything below that gap up, I want out. So I'm going to go with 177.
We're seeing oil still slipping here, 67.36 now. Wow, a barrel now.
We should be coming off stop here.
Could get right below that. 51 now on DJT.
Yeah, I told you. It's going to go to 53, buddy.
All right.
I know my pumpers, buddy. It's just crypto. It's crypto. It does the same.
I like it.
52.13. Look at that. 52.13. Just think about that profit, Steve. Jeez. You could have given me a raise this week.
Nice little run there on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You take them and run. Yeah, like we said, you don't want to be on the wrong side of it, so it's never a problem. That's why, normally and it's also tough while we're trading and talking here. let's be honest. That's why some of these I set so many stop losses, and on this one normally I would just let it run. This BK,
71,500 on Bitcoin once again there. Those of us who are buying it at 55,000 and 50,000 are smiling this morning.
yeah.
Yeah. But again, I took a lot of profit off. A third of my crypto came off. Bitcoin specifically came off last night at 71.3. It was too heavy.
Well,
And I
that's the
don't like
thing.
where
If
the
you're
money
too heavy, that is the way to go.
71.6. Here we go. I'm still happy if it goes up. Don't get me wrong, everybody.
Oh, I
But
just got stopped out at that 177. And it got stopped again at 164. So a small win, scalp win, only gives me a small win, 173 to 177 there.
And DJT now halted once again. It's yeah.
Yeah, DJT just keeps getting going. It's got the volume. Again, DJT is in play if it breaks VWAP again. You want to see what it does when it hits this 53.49.
Could you imagine if Bitcoin ever got halted? If they ever had an ability to do that?
People used to call for it. Now they don't do it as much, that's for sure.
They
Tick
don't call for it
again,
anymore, do they?
nicely positive here, up almost 300. So we're seeing some buyers step in. QQQ trying to go positive here. SPY trailing just below it. Bitcoin 71,600, like we talked about. Gold
That is a good question, Howard. I
76.62.
mean, now that
Here's
you
the
have
problem: everything moving up, Steve. I'm with you. This is where I start to, I listen to a couple of guys talk, and I say, well, maybe you can just keep going up. But man, everything shouldn't be going up together.
But if you think about it from the perspective of ETFs for Bitcoin, you think about that, they can be halted. So will there be a disconnect if they do halt ETFs and from the actual commodity? I mean,
That would be a question for Mr. Bauer, I think. I'll ask him that.
Good question. 71.6 now, continue to push higher now.
I don't know that I've ever seen an ETF stop though.
They can't. Yeah, you can stop anything, right?
Yeah,
But
I would assume. I just
any reason. Yeah.
they just have
But
so much liquidity you normally wouldn't see it, right? I'll tell you what would happen if it was
71.7 now.
halted is you would see some arbitrage opportunities like you've never seen. So I would be quickly stopping the
That's what I'm
stream, stopping the stream to make a lot of quick investment there. That's a great question. I have it down here to take a look.
7 now there, Howard. Wow. Are we going to 72 right here?
I told you, I think we challenged all-time high.
Wow, that's 73 then. Yeah.
I think we do.
And with all of this,
and part of the reason for that is with the move of the ETF, with options available, with all the things that are now available, the perp futures just don't move it enough. So stupid shorting right here isn't it will give it that run back down to 66. That's why I'm accounting for a run down to 66, maybe before we hit the all-time high. But there's not enough liquidity there to move the needle to the extent that it used to.
And we get down there, sir, I will definitely be buying. So
Cena stopped on UUU. What is that, Steve? UUU.
Oh, okay. Yep, sure. All right. Up 11.3%. And Universal
doesn't look
Security,
like a lot of volume, though, is there?
Yeah.
No volume.
I'll tell you, back in the day, this was a big trader back in the day.
No volume right now, but this is gonna look at that pump.
They had a back on August 19th, they had a loss of shares of 19 cents. So they might have something going on there. Somebody might be buying the company there. It's a small company, market cap of $3.63 million, right? It's a no-brainer there.
Steve, take a look at SHPH here. Seeing that one is an opportunity. That's not the one I wanted to look at.
Dropping here. 67, 60 now on oil here. So continue to sell. Man, gold just popped there. 27.63 an ounce now. Wow, I think that just hit another all-time high on gold. Silver now again. As you all know, that's where my money lies. 34.32. Yeah, wow, good for them.
This is one that looks like it might want to take off. SHPH here. SHPH.
And you see Amazon flatter than pancake today. So, there you go. 71.8 now, once again on Bitcoin there. Maybe I should just go look at my account there in crypto.
Xerox on the move here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
In the wrong direction. There's a company you don't hear much from anymore, huh?
Well, Xerox has changed their world. They don't do they do have copy machines, but they are more of a business that goes into your business and helps you with your systems. So they're not the same Xerox as it's not your father's Xerox company. Put it that way.
This one's interesting right here. Here's a pumper that's getting ready to go on its third wave. We're looking at
DJT now open once again.
VCIG
51.
here. Could be looking for a third pump. VCIG.
DJT open again. 51.12 now. Up 8%. Could slip again below that 51 handle. If it does that, yeah, there goes 50-50 now. 50-70, 50-55. Yeah, I think if it slips again, $51, $55. There it was. Yeah, see, if it slipped a little bit. 52 now. There you go. I'm starting to see a little bit of wane as we come into the 10 o'clock hour here, Howard. People are nervous a little bit, I think, and I think a lot of it has to do with those numbers coming out with consumer confidence. We are expecting 98.7 on the index there, and JOLTS we are expecting 8.04, so a million people. So that's we all know that's Janet Yellen's favorite number, JOLTS, and the Fed is watching.
Yeah, Steve Flanagan said to watch just as much as to watch for, the Jolts number is to watch for how they either raise or lower previous, the previous readings, because he's stating that he thinks a lot of government hiring went into that is skewing the number.
Correct. He's right. That's right. Yeah. And going into the fall here, we're going into the holiday season, and some of that we'll see be skewed a little bit to seasonal buy or seasonal hiring.
Right.
The VIX now slipping even more here. Man, part of me wants to buy some oil here down here, these bottoms here.
You did that yesterday with UCO, right? UCO.
I correctly did, yeah.
What's that doing today?
I've only had one miss in 4 days now, 5 days. How long has it been now since I've had?
Yeah, it was middle of last week, so yeah,
Middle of last week. Okay, yeah.
$24.72 right now. $24.65 on
AMD up 1 point. Here we go. 71.8 once again on Bitcoin.
DJT really back down at that 51 level. You could spend all day just trading DJT today.
I just can't. I did it. I had a good time with it this morning, as everybody knows here. Watched it live. But I don't know. I don't see it holding up too well here.
Traders just want volatility, buddy. We don't care about anything else. I just want to see this volatility. I don't care.
The problem is the short locates are really hard right now. Some at IBKR saw. I just don't.
Well, that's why I'd be playing it more to the north on this drops down. As everyone takes their profits, it comes back down towards this 49.91 here is where I'd be like, okay, I think it bounces from there.
There it is. Can we break 71.8 here? And we are 71. There it is. Oh, I cannot. It's struggling up there. Howard, I've got to do it. It's too bothersome to me. I am going to continue to sell some more of my Bitcoin here.
Okay.
And I say that I'm going to convert, I should say.
If I were you, I'd more look at that number a little higher than we're at right now, but I would maybe put a limit order in at that 72 level. It likes round numbers. If it's already hit 71,800, it's at the high of the day here. It likes round numbers. I'd also look at
And I have just sold more here on the highs here, quite a bit actually. I'm now at half of my Bitcoin stash that I had. Yeah, so now I can breathe a little easier here because I was heavy, and 71. Oh, there it is, 71.8. Boom.
yeah, it's not done today.
No, I think the selling and the buyers are pretty much worn out this morning. You know who's happy? Okay, Jolt's just coming out now. They came out at yeah, 800. It's 8 million versus the expected of wow. September job opening 7.443 million versus the 8 million expected there. So job openings were not nearly as much as they expected. That could be a push on. Yeah, it is a push on everything here, as you know now that the Fed's going to have to.
71,825,
Fed's
71,835.
going to have to
I've
lower
got you. I
rates.
got 73,206 as my target here.
Okay,
73,206.
I got more to sell. Don't worry.
Yep.
So I think
And what I have there is I'm using Jeremy Vreeland's little box system that he uses where you take a look at what the retracement was and look for a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 even move up after that. So that's what I'm looking at here. We'll see if Jeremy's system, he's usually got it rocking and rolling. Let's see what it does here.
I like it. I like it. Yep.
Give me again any pullback to that 69 100 area
71.9.
still in play.
We're trying 72.
We're gonna break it. We're gonna break 72 here, buddy.
And I've got more to sell, my man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well we've made it through the show here today. We do have speaking of Jeremy Vreeland, we have him back at 11:30 today with Matthew Tuttle doing the watch list. At 1 o'clock, we have Scott Bauer. And then at 2 o'clock, we have two interviews that Steve and I did last week. One with Michael Litt and Steven. One with myself and Dr. Alan Ellman from the Blue Collar Investor. Those will be on after Scott Bauer this afternoon. Two great interviews that we have for you. And that's our show for today. Steve, you have a fantastic afternoon, and I will see you bright and early in the morning.